Amber. Thanks for coming to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about why we should orient our bodies when we're having a trauma response. So when we're in an argument with someone, sometimes our body thinks that we are going through a trauma, especially if the situation in front of us is somehow mirroring or triggering whatever happened to us back before in the trauma. So our bodies and our brains don't know that we are not in the trauma anymore. It's like unless we've healed the original trauma, our bodies and our brains haven't, it doesn't know that, in the moment that what's happening in the past is not happening now. So it's almost like our bodies and our brains are reacting, trying to keep us safe because it thinks the original trauma is happening. And so what happens when that happens is we don't have our prefrontal cortex online and we react to a situation maybe in a way that we didn't want to. And so what I want to teach you is how to orient yourself in the present moment when you're feeling activated. So the first thing that's extremely important is knowing what's happening. It's like catching it. And it's really hard to catch this kind of thing because we're so overwhelmed. And, in an argument, of course, we're feeling overwhelmed, but our trauma response is making it so big that it's almost like we can't get back into our normal, self, And so what I want you to do when you're feeling activated is, first of all, we have to catch it first. All right. You got to catch that it's happening. And what I want you to do when you catch it is I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to go into your body and I want you to notice. I want you to notice what's happening in your body. When a trauma response is happening, our physiological processes are happening and, we're really activated. So our heart rate may rise. We may feel really hot. We may not be even in our bodies. We may not be even able to see outside of us. And so the first most important thing is to notice what's happening into your body. Pay attention. And the other thing that's really important is orienting yourself in the moment. So looking at your hands, noticing things with your five senses, because your five senses are not, your brain is not online. So you have to get your brain online. And by noticing, sensing things, it's able to start keeping you in the moment, to knowing I'm not there, I'm here. I'm in an argument with whoever, and I'm not back when the trauma happened. And you're teaching your body what it feels like and teaching your body to stay in the moment. What is this moment? This moment is me and my boyfriend or whoever is having a fight. And I'm not back there, even though our body's reacting like that. And over time, it helps, to do this. And the other thing I want you to pay attention to is what triggered you to go into that reaction? What situation? What did it look like? Does it mirror in some way the trauma that happened before? A lot of the times, when we have trauma, our bodies unconsciously, externally can create the trauma that happened to us because our bodies and brains are trying to resolve that original trauma. But the issue is that we can never solve a trauma that happened in the past with something that's happening in the present. We have to go back into the past and fix what happened, not fix what happened, but go and target the root of what happened in the root trauma. So a lot of the ways to do that is by doing EMDR, IFS work. I'm going to talk more about EMDR to you soon. So it's really important to just notice what argument is triggering you in this, having this physiological response. When I first did this, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't even feel my body right now. I can't even feel my hands. My heart rate's high. I can't even see. I didn't even notice that this was happening before because, you're so noticing, you're paying attention to the other person, right? You're like, there's a threat in front of me. I need to pay attention to them. You're not paying attention to what's going on with you. And by paying attention with what's going on with you is where you can start to heal and notice what's going on. And, once you start noticing it, then you can start targeting, whatever the issue is, right? And once you get your prefrontal cortex online, because basically when you're having this instinct that happen, that's a lot quicker than your prefrontal cortex. So by orienting yourself in the present moment, you're able to let your prefrontal cortex come back online. And it takes about 7 seconds, I think. That's the number for your brain to come back online. And that's why paying attention to your body is also important, because you take that pause to go, I can take a deep breath and then orient myself, and then I'm able to know what's going on. And you're able to have your prefrontal cortex come online so that you can respond instead of react, right? That's the goal. But it does really help with getting the information to know what's happening in front of you, and then your trauma's not happening in front of you, and that it's just a mirror or trigger of some kind. And then also to understand that this is something that you may need to, go back and resolve, and getting to the root issue is what this is all about. So I really hope that this helps you understand how to orient yourself. Another way is to count 5 things that are white, hear, try to get your hearing online, get your smell online, notice what's in the room, really take, sometimes people do the alphabet, right? Or the alphabet backwards, which I can never do, but there's a lot of tools that you can use to keep yourself in the moment when this is happening. And there's a lot more on the internet that you can search, but I hope that this helps in some way. The other thing, it's always about getting curious about what's going on, being curious, getting curious of what's happening with your body, getting curious about what's happening with you and your significant other and how that mirrors what happened to you in your past, getting curious about what happened in your past and what to resolve with that, getting curious about how do I get help, not triggering, but how do I get help, with going back and healing my past trauma, because the past trauma doesn't heal on its own, and everyone's like, get over it and move on, blah blah blah. That's our whole culture, but that's not possible. Trauma doesn't resolve on its own. You have to go back and target the root issue. And so I just also want to bring in compassion. Compassion is so important in this. Having compassion, because your body is doing something that's physiological, and it's doing it because you don't feel safe. And I want you to have so much compassion for that. You went through a horrific, or just even little t trauma can cause this. You went through something traumatic. Doesn't matter what it is. You went through something traumatic, and your body now is like, I have to keep you safe from that. And it's going to turn on these processes that don't necessarily need to be turned on. And that's why it's so stressful and exhausting, because everyday life is really stressful. We get triggered at work, we get triggered at home, we get triggered by our kids, and we're not in any actual danger, but our body thinks that we are. And so we're having these processes turned on all the time, and over time that creates a lot of unrest and a lot of exhaustion and a lot of stress, and that creates illnesses or disease or depression or whatever it is, right? And we have to start catching that this is happening and finding a way to bring ourselves back in our body and find rest and find peace. And I hope that I've helped you be able to do that. Hit the like and subscribe button if you can. I really, really want to reach more people. I want to help more people. I really want more people to see this and know what to do in this type of situation, and know that there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you if this is happening to you. Your body literally is trying to keep you safe, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It may not match the situation, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. So thank you guys for watching my channel, and I will see you guys next time.